top priority is to digitize and reimagine customer journeys or the customer interactions. We are a conglomerate, like you already captured, and we are into many, many businesses. And many of these businesses originally had customers walking into showrooms or branches or to a model apartment or to a holiday resort, physically wanting to see, touch, feel, and then making the decision on whether to buy the service or the product. Last 1 year has shown us that all of this can be done digitally. And hence many of these last miles, which were very physical in nature, because that's how the business was, and that's what the customer expectation was, that is digitizing at a rapid pace. I would even tend to say that the customer is setting the pace and the level of digital they want the company to offer. So it's not so much a CTO's agenda on how over next 2-3 years we are going to do it across the company. It's driven by customer requirement. Equally important is digitization of employee journeys. Oftentimes, companies have invested heavily or are investing heavily on the customer digital experience, but tend to overlook the employee experience. The fact that all our wonderful employees have been working from home or their cities they have gone to during the last 1 year and have been working productively and creatively, we need to see that our internal employee-facing digital systems are equally experiential. And that's our second priority in the digital bucket. So that's, to me, digital is the first priority. Second, I think, is around data. That what do we offer the customer? When do we offer the customer? At what price? In what color? That is very important. And companies cannot anymore assume that by sending a digital email, the customer will consume the product. So how to use data ethically and for the best value to be offered to the customer is where the differentiation is going to be. So we, as a group, we're spending a lot of time and have a strategic plan on data, which includes artificial intelligence, machine learning, to make the best choices and options for the customers. Third, I think, is around the core IT transformation, where lots of this is helped by moving to the cloud. So we were a very on-premise hosting setup because there wasn't a need to scale and digitize and drive innovation in a fast-track manner. But now that is our agenda. The third agenda item is around transformation of the IT, the core IT. To me, it's a 3-step process. How do we look at optimizing our current footprint, whether we should be in data center, virtual cloud, or public cloud? How do we then modernize our stack, use of open source, microservice API-driven model, no monolithic architecture? And then how do we use transformation and fast innovation on the new stack? So a full stack modernization for the core IT enabled by the cloud is our third agenda. Fourth is around cybersecurity. As we go more digital and as employees, partners, vendors work from different locations, the threat surface has changed. Earlier, we were a very office-oriented company. So if you were in the office, you were into the secure borders of the company, where the network was secure, access was controlled, the desktops or laptops were completely owned by the company and managed by the company. Now, when people are working remotely and customers will consume more and more services digitally online, the risk factor has gone up immensely. So the fourth strategic item for us, which is actually very, very important, is to look at cybersecurity and our threat surface and our security posture on how do we have a security architecture which is cloud-oriented, digital, and it manages the risk and the reward equally. Last but not the least is the talent and the culture agenda. I see lots of this getting done over the next 2 years. We use all the three vendors. If you look at the three large hyperscalers, everybody knows what the names are. I don't need to name them. We use all of them for different use cases based on their strengths, whether we want to continue with all three or select a few. I think that study is currently on. Yeah. So to your question, are we all trying to move to one? I won't think so. Yeah. It'll remain to be a hybrid and a multi-cloud strategy. Of course. Yeah. Of course. It's across the group. Of course. We work very closely with Tech Mahindra, and many of the Tech Mahindra colleagues are very much in the same discussion and meetings with the hyperscalers, jointly helping us define the strategy. Of course. Yes. Yeah. It's a good reminder. Good reminder. I'm picking up the real estate business first. Which is a very interesting COVID launch. So normally, if you know at real estate, normally developers and real estate companies would have a land, develop the land, start building the building, put a model house, and then invite the customer to walk in. The customer normally schedules an appointment to come to the model house and comes and sees the house and then, does a booking, or maybe does not make a booking, either or. Now in the COVID times, how do you do this digitally, which I don't think many companies may have done, or even we hadn't done. And in the real estate side, we tried that for one of our properties in Palghar near Bombay, and we were so successful that out of the 180 or 190 apartments, some 70-80% of the inventory could be sold digitally with no model house, nobody coming to the site because city was in a lockdown. Even when the lockdown gets over, and in many other cities, it has got over now. That's the way we want to go, because the distribution, the engagement with the customer maybe is a lot better, rather than scheduling one couple or one family to come. Yeah. And that you can do only three, four schedules in a day without having a large number of people at the site. That we launched our iconic product, the Thar, which is a 4x4 SUV vehicle. Which was launched in October, on 2nd October actually. And in that one, since it was happening in October, and October was peak COVID, we had to reimagine the journey on how from a social Facebook site you could come and request, and the test drive could be scheduled digitally, and the vehicle could come to your place, and a sanitized version of the sales guy and the vehicle, and just you, and it's a sanitized vehicle, and you do a test drive nearby in your neighborhood, and based on that you can make the booking. That's very different from people rushing to the showroom. People around 20,000 or 25,000 Thars got booked in the first 3-4 months of the launch, and 2nd October was the launch, and that is all through the peak COVID, which makes us believe. And now we are looking at all the launches this year, re-looking at all the launches at this year, on how to have a highly digital strategy around it. Making cars safer, autonomy and lane assist and many other things, which we are doing. And so that's on the automobile side. And then some very interesting work on the farm and agriculture, where we are running experiments at scale through hundreds of acres of farmland, working with farmers and our dealers to be able to use IoT sensors in the soil to be able to then do spot irrigation versus flood irrigation. Otherwise, paddy farmers, if you have free water, with many state governments provide free water to the farmers, or even otherwise, it's not about free water, but flooding there's national wastage of water, and flooding the farmland or flooding the farm does not necessarily have a best impact on the yield. So how do we use IoT sensors in the soil spaced across the farm so that you know exactly where to irrigate, where to not, and then providing farmers with special equipment which can be attached at the back of the tractor, which can help spot irrigation, right? Similarly, spot pesticide spraying in sugarcane and grapes. Those are other experiments we're currently running in Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and a couple of other states, And this, I'm not saying just one farm experiment. Here I'm talking about hundreds to thousands of farms. So you take a 1 acre plot, work with the farmer, work with the dealer nearby, and then expand. So we're doing this at scale. That's on the farm side. We are also looking at how our tractors can be trackable, and can it be a connected tractor platform where the farmer, if he or she has given the tractor on rent or has loaned it to somebody else, then how he can track the tractor where it is, and a lot of other data which can come from the tractor to the farmer, a couple of quarters, maybe next year. Things may change even further because the edge computing and intelligence of our products can become a lot better. And then we have, like I said, we have many factories, and we are looking at Industry 4.0, where how can we have connected factories and intelligent factories. 5G in automobile will be a game changer, because then your vehicle in real time should be able to predict any collisions, accidents, or anything roadblocks happening to edge computing environment. So it could go from, so you could zone a city into multiple zones and put edge servers, and your car could very well be connected to the cloud, and hence you could have intelligence in the vehicle itself. Currently it's there, but with 5G, it can be real time, much more real time. So I think making cars safer, and I'm not even talking about entertainment and in-car entertainment. I think that's an easy one to imagine. But making cars safer is a use case we will drive, and we're not there yet. But all companies will do it, and hence that will be a game changer. I think blockchain in the rural economy, from farm to market or from farm to plate, is a good use case, which means that it's the rice being grown and it's on your plate to eat. And on this chain, how can we make financing available at different stages? So it starts with the farmer and the equipment, then the mandis, then the dealers. So it'll go from individual auto loan to crop insurance kind of thing, then small and medium enterprise loans, and it's a trade finance in some way. So that's a good blockchain. I'm sure that other blockchain ideas as well, which we are looking at on the automobile side, which is new car to old car.